Hey everyone, this is Joe with SignTracker. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me talking about what you can do inside of your job. So when you set up a new job in SignTracker, it's going to automatically drop a job card, as I like to call them, in the first column of your job flow board. It's at our company, every time a customer called and asked for a quote, we just simply started a new job. And I know some folks get a little hung up on that. It's really just semantics, so you can call it opportunity. So whatever you set that first column up in the job flow board, open bid, opportunity, new job, that's all it is. If you get the job, great. If it never even gets to a point where you give a quote to a customer, no problem. Just archive it. It stays there forever. The reason why we did that was because every time a customer would call, generally you had to do something to get a quote, whether it was to get a copy of their logo. I mean, unless it was just something, a straight like, hey, this is a 4x8 banner, you come pick it up, it's $200. Then maybe we wouldn't necessarily do anything before a quote, but then you'd still have to get the customer's logo and all that, even if the customer agreed. So anyway, that said, once you create this new opportunity or job, you're going to get this job, I like to call it the job folder, where you pretty much do everything. You manage every part of the job inside of here. So you have your overview, you can see your client. When you set the job up, you associate the job to a client. If there's multiple people that work at that company, then you also associate it to whichever person you're working with. So if you go into the contact management section, it's going to show up in the history of the company and which person you did the job with. It's going to show the date the job was created, who created it. You see that down here in the history chain as well. Brief description of the job when you're setting that up, and you can edit that on the job flow board if you want to. So, and then you have which type of job it is, a product or service, and that will show up on the calendar as a product or a service job. Who the project manager is, who the sales rep is. If you're a smaller company and you do all the managing and all the selling, then you're both. And as far as the job location, if it's customer pickup or there's an actual address, a delivery address or an install address, when you're setting up the job, you'll see that here. You can print this sheet off as well if you like to do that. Some folks like to still have a folder, a paper folder, so you could tape it, print it and tape it to the front of a folder or whatever. This is where you set up all your tasks. So you assign your different task templates and you assign tasks to people. And then, of course, these tasks will show up on the calendar as well as the task list, the master task list, which you'll find under the Jobs tab. Notes. I used notes all the time in my jobs, and especially any kind of communication from the customer that gave approval for something. And with me, it was emails. So a lot of times when an email would come in, rather than trying to search my emails forever to find that color approval, I would just cut and paste the entire email right into here, and I would just add the subject, color approval email by client or whatever. And then it timestamps it anyway. So, and anybody that's working on a job can come in here. Anybody that's logged into the system can come into any job and make a note, and it's going to timestamp it, who made the note and what time it was done. So attachments. You basically just click this gray square and it'll navigate to your computer. You can upload multiple attachments at the same time. You can move this off to the side and just drag and drop them. That works as well. Also, if you do field surveys, it's kind of nice because you can log into SignTracker through a browser on your smartphone or tablet, and then just click this gray square with your thumb and it's going to navigate to the camera, and you can grab all the pictures, the survey pictures that you took, and just automatically upload them here from the field. So if you were out doing multiple surveys, rather than trying to figure out which picture went to which job, you just do it right when you're done taking all the pictures. And I always really liked to take all my notes as well, my survey notes, on a clipboard, and then I would take a picture of that too, and I would upload it while I was in the field before I left the job site. That way there I didn't lose them. So quotes and contracts, you can learn about that in other videos, but just to let you know, you do all the quoting within this job. So, and of course you create job quoting templates rather, and you can quote them and then you convert them to contracts that you then send to the customer for approval. You can watch other videos. Also, the recorded webinar Unquoting is really good because it really goes through all the setup and then how to use it and how to categorize everything. So it's a little longer. It's about 30 minutes. But if you wanted to watch it all in one stretch rather than watching shorter videos, I recommend that. Sign templates. These were just put in SignTracker as a bonus. A lot of sign shops already have this stuff if you've been around for a while, but they're all vectorized. So I would say, open these up or have one of whoever's responsible for doing the design work. You can open them up. You can download them all. All the text is live text. All the schematics are vectorized, so you can adjust them and copy and paste them if you have your own template. But we use these for all of our proposals at our sign shop. And again, this is just sort of a bonus. You might have a lot of this stuff, and there's a lot of different ones in here for big development, organizing a big development package, all the way down to just simple door vinyl. MDO panels, monument signs, post-it panels. And so they're helpful. They're definitely a great launch point for starting a design, and they look professional. So forms, these are all the forms that we use to manage our sign shop. There are so many of them in here. I just highly recommend taking the time. It might take an hour to go through them all, but it's always amazing when people will call and say, do you guys have a form in there on blah, blah, blah? It's like, oh yeah, just look at your forms bank in one of your jobs. And so, some of these are really good. They're work orders that can be used for subcontractors. There's also all kinds of client forms, client satisfaction surveys, change order forms, dig releases if you're digging on private property, a couple of posts, and they don't know if the sprinkler lines are there. So it's things like that are really good. Landlord approval letters. The survey sheets are excellent if you can, let's say you were going out to the field to do a field survey on changing a face in a monument sign. You can print this up before you go and then just take notes. It's going to automatically put the job information in there. You can fill this out too, but if you fill it out within your browser, I'm just going to pre-warn you, this is a browser thing, and then save it. It won't save the information to your job. It'll clear it out. So if you download this from your browser, and then you fill it out on your computer, or let's say a tablet or whatever, you fill it out, and then you hit the submit form button, it will drive it back up to SignTracker, and it'll keep all the information that you filled out. So if you're at home and you're filling out 10 different work orders and you're doing it all in your browser, you get to the office the next day and you open them up and they're all blank, I know you're going to want to call and scream at me. I'm just pre-warning you. Fill them out on your computer, then submit them. Then you're not going to have any problems at all. And then you can throw them away. You don't have to keep them on your computer. You can delete them because once it drives it back up to the job, they're there. And then you can open them up and they'll all be filled out, and then you can print them and download them or do whatever you need to do. So also inside this job, inside this overview of the job, or the whole thing actually, you can change the due date. So if you update the due date here, it will update it on the calendar, the job flow board, and your job list. Same with the stages of production. So if I move it here, it's going to change it on the job flow board and of course the job list. This little signal icon here, if you click that, just like on the job flow board, you can put a job on hold. Let's say it's pending permit or a pending color approval change or whatever, anything that's holding the job up. So it's going to put that block on it. So if I went to the job flow board right now, you'd have that big red square around it. And then you can also unblock it from here. And then you can also clone or delete the job as well. So anyway, that's what you do inside of your job in SignTracker. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and we'll see you on the next video. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we'll be posting updated videos on a regular basis. And if you have any questions or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you through our chat tool found in the app. Thanks again. Have a great day.